Hey there guys, it's Neb here, just doing another build video here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my dual wield sorcerer. So he dual wields 2 blue flames. He has a mannequin dagger for backstabs or parries if I get them, and also the monastery scimitar. I went for the scimitar, the monastery, because fashionable, I like it, used to be one of my favorite weapons back in Dark Souls 1. And now I'm going to go into the armor. I use the Hexer's Hood for additional spell castings, which are very helpful. And I also use the Monastery shirt and the pants, because it's Fashion Souls, come on man, Fashion Souls. And in the engraved gauntlets for the amazing critical damage. You have a chance that all your attacks will deal a critical damage on a hit. And for the rings, I've picked the Chloranthy ring +2 so I don't have a stamina management problem. The stone ring because you need it with low damage poise hitting weapons like the sword, and also it helps your spells hit harder too, so that they will stun someone if you get caught in a situation where you throw out a spell, it hits them, and they just shake it off and hit you right in the face for a one hit basically. And must need on every sorcerer build, I don't really care what anyone says, the clear blue stone ring +2. If you can get your hands on the +2 version on New Game Plus from the Skeleton Lords, go get it. And I also use the magic clutch ring, which helps boost damage for all of my magic weapons. And now for my spell lineup, of course I'm going to use Crystal Magic Weapon on the blue flame sword, because it acts as a catalyst, and actually buffing it increases its spell damage that you shoot from it. And also, of course, the Crystal Homing Soul Mass, always a good thing to keep in mind. Soul Shower isn't really necessary, I just threw it in there for shits and gigs basically. It's not as good as it used to be, or at least I find it's not as good as it used to be. And heavy homing seeking whatever bolt, or yeah, it should be the bolt, is actually very good. It's slow moving, and people that are just anticipating to dodge your Crystal Soul Spear, you throw that out, it'll deal a moderate amount of damage. It's good, and you can usually pick off people who are low health just dodging all your attacks. You just throw some of those out and then change up your spell casting. And of course, bread and butter, Crystal Magic Soul Spear. If you land one of these, more than likely their health is going to be deteriorated to basically nothing. And you might be able to even one-hit someone with this. And the next spell I use is a Soul Barrage. It's the one where you shoot repeated amounts of small little souls. And this is awesome for catching someone after you rolled away from them and they're coming in to keep the pressure on you. You just roll back, you throw that out, and you'll just catch them, and then they'll, even if they roll, because it has a long shooting animation, you just keep pouring them out, they'll either get caught, stunned, hit for a little bit of damage, and you'll have enough time to get away, or if they eat it, then it's going to deal a significant amount of damage. And Soul Greatsword is actually an awesome spell to have. It's pretty cool, especially if you're doing invasions. You can hit someone that's hiding behind a pillar. You can hit people through walls with it. It's pretty nifty. You can use it in certain situations. It's easy to dodge though, but it's good in certain situations. Now I'm gonna go into the stats. This is a level 350 build. Soul level 350. The reason I went into up to 350 would be because I needed to up my stats. I needed more health, more whatever. More health, more stamina, vigor, whatever, because I hit the 45 million threshold and I was just fighting too many people with full havels and all that. I was kept getting one-hitted basically. So I had to match them, and they were all high levels, so I had to boost up the game, sadly. Anyways, but this build you could it's should be easy to use, make into a 150 build if you really want to. Necessarily, all you're gonna really need is your intelligence to be 53 for Crystal Soul Spear. If you don't want to invest that much and be able to throw some extra points into like health, like vigor and endurance, just forget about the Crystal Soul Spear. You can just use a regular Soul Spear. They're just as good, especially at lower levels. It's not too big of a damage. It is a bit. There is a damage difference, but it's not over like Crystal Soul Spear isn't overpowering. So it's a good substitute if you want to stay. If you want to have more stats to invest in certain aspects. And attunement I have at 99 just because high level PvP. I had nothing much else going on, so I threw in for extra slots. And yeah, basically faith you don't need to touch. It's the main things you're gonna want to focus on are intelligence and attunement. Those are gonna be your things you're gonna need the most. You're of course gonna want to have enough stats to either dual wield the blue flames. You don't really have to dual wield them. You could just use the blue flame and then the scimitar to parry people, which I tend to do a lot. Every once in a while, it's good to have it be able to dual wield because it'll change up your like fighting style. You'll be able to throw to R1 whatever, catch them, and then you'll be able to hit them for lots of damage with the L1. And if you don't feel like being able to dual wield, save those stats for whatever. Have enough stats to wield the blue flame, and you can always two-hand it if need be, because it still does awesome amounts of damage. And yeah, just throw the remainder points that you have into vigor and endurance. And I'll talk to you guys in a bit. So this is our first fight, and our fight is against Alex. Alex uses the Murakumo and buffs it with Sunlight Blade. He also uses fucking Dark Magic for those goddamn pursuers, and he has a Soul Spear. Surprise. This guy is pretty much the jack of all trades. He's pretty cool. I like his build. It's funny. He's got a little bit of everything, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And here, I'm just gonna try and poke him out with some Soul Spears. He eats a couple, and he tries to trade with me here, but I start out my attack first, and that's mainly what you want to do against other casters. Is if you are both casting, you want to make sure that you time it so that yours comes out first, and you do not want to be on the losing end. Trust me, it hurts. But here I'm shooting some bolts at him. The bolts are awesome for fucking slow moving attacks. But there I finish him with the Soul Spear. And this would be our fight against Thunder. Thunder. Thunder is pretty cool. I like him. He has the Moonlight Greatsword, and that thing is fucking awesome. I loved it in Dark Souls 1, and sadly, there's not too many people use it anymore in Dark Souls 2, which is kind of sad. I really liked it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna try and make a build video about it later, but for now, let's focus on this build. So here, I'm just trying to get, I unlocked, turned around, tried to trick him to run into my Great Soul Spear. Soul Greatsword, and just throwing out some magic to try and feel him out, see what he's gonna do. Of course, there, I get fucking sloppy, and then he fucking like punishes me properly, but I stayed on his ass after he rolled, and I got that backstab. Totally worth it. And here, he's gonna fucking roll through a couple Soul Spears, and then I'm gonna catch him here. I timed this a little bit so that he would roll first, and I would catch him at the end of his roll, instead of him just rolling past my spear. And this fight's against Thunder again. Just fighting him all the time. Thunder is in this fight. He's just gonna. I think he played a little defensively, but of course, first things first, I gotta first of all fall off of the fucking bridge and down to the lava pit, but I gotta. He's cool and he lets me run all the way back without shooting soul spears at me and shit. But regardless of the fact whether he's nice about it or not, if you fall down there, it is your fault and it doesn't matter. And no, if even if the fight starts, you should be getting punished, shot at, whatever it takes. And if you can't defend yourself, then it's a sad story, man. But now now back to the fights. Here I start throwing out some soul spears and all that, trying to. So right there, I predicted wrong of his positioning and how fast he was gonna move towards me, and I tried to catch him with a soul greatsword through the railings, but I timed it wrong and he was out of range. But here we're gonna fucking trade, and I win the trade because he used the not so strong spell. And this is the last. Nope, I am wrong. Sorry. This is our fight against Mr. T. That's who it is. Alright, Mr. T here. This is what I like to call him. He's a sorcerer as well, but he is fucking cool. He is using that majestic greatsword. And let me tell you, absolutely the coolest fucking feeling in the game for me, I would have to say, is parrying people and fucking landing that majestic greatsword, do a power stance L2, which this guy doesn't, so I finish off the soul spear. And yeah, he just throws some hits in on me, gets him, and I'm just gonna try and poke at him for right now, see what he's up to. But I just keep getting punished, holy shit. And here I throw out my soul spear barrage, and see, if you see somebody approaching you and you have spacing and enough time to cast that, absolutely go for it, because if they roll into it, they're just gonna get annihilated. And if they just get clipped by a couple of them, enough to stun them, you'll have absolutely enough time to retreat and reposition and, you know, get away from it unscathed. So this is our last fight. This is This is what I like to call him. And oh, you let me down. Why would you attack me right off the bat? But oh well, I am over it and on to better things, as I'm gonna whoop her ass. So there, I fucking land that soul spear as she misses her attack. She didn't anticipate the spacing between us, and she just ate that. And here I'm just gonna try and fucking back off, feel her out a little bit, and I'm gonna work on getting a parry right here. Anyways, pretty good. Hey there, guys. And that's the end of the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I sure did. And yeah, I'll be putting out some more build videos that I enjoyed fighting with. And if you guys want, go ahead, try them out. They're absolutely fun to use. I tend to not use builds that are just straight power and all that. I tend to use things that I enjoy to use and all that. Fun builds for me. And yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it interesting for you guys and keep pumping out some more videos. So yeah, I'm just gonna make some more build videos, and I'm gonna start off my playthrough through Dark Souls 2 and all of the DLCs. And I hope you guys are sticking around with me, and have a good night.